All right, welcome back, everybody, to another video from Orbital. This week we have a returning host. If any, for the day one fans, we've got AYARS back with us this week.
Good to be
For the foreseeable future, so that's awesome. We go back to the three-man Orbital cameras, so we're really excited about that. But we're here to talk about the Rockets, all right? And we're two preseason games in. Rockets win the first one, blow out the Chicago Bulls. We're recording this after the second game that they played against the Chicago Bulls again, this time losing their second matchup. AYARS, you're returning, so we're going to go straight to you. I want your raw, unfiltered thoughts on the first two games of the Houston Rockets.
Well, first, I think the return of Boogie and John Wall, it's, been pleasant to see. Boogie's shooting has been crazy. I was not expecting that. I know he's a pretty decent shooter, a B plus kind of 3-point shooter, but he's looking really good from the outside.
Stroke is looking nice for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Also, John Wall, his explosiveness seems to be just, it's the same pretty much. And, it doesn't look like he's having anything hindered from those injuries. So that's been really good to see. And then also, I'll get into Chris Clemens later, but that's another guy that I want to talk to and talk about. And then also, we just need to find a backup point guard for sure. That's what we really need. I think that's what we're really lacking. And then also another concern potentially will be paint defense. So that's also something that came up to me. But hopefully that'll be solved with the return of Christian Wood. But we'll see.
Yeah, Rourke, what did you see out there from the guys that are new to the team, the guys that are returning? Some guys are just kind of on the roster right now, might not make the final squad. But what have you been seeing out there?
Yeah, all players getting their reps in, preseason reps, trying to get back in the groove, fitting in the new guys, seeing where they come in. The game was pretty competitive. Rockets were winning till late. You bring in the young guns, and then of course they lose the game. It's all good, no worries. It's what you want to see is these players like AYARS is talking about, John Wall, Boogie, coming back and seeing how they look. Really, that's what's important here in the preseason, seeing how our new coach Silas and how he's able to integrate the new guys and get them going. Eric Gordon, actually, one guy I want to point out, he's looking healthy still, and I think he's going to be pivotal in how well the Rockets are able to do this year. And he had the highest plus minus on the night, +8. Everyone else was either negative or +1 around there. And so, he was able to, while he didn't look super good, he didn't shoot the ball particularly well. Overall, the Rockets were, shot the ball all right. Like AYARS said, Boogie, John Wall making some good threes. I mean, he had a couple clankers too, but it's good to see him shooting the ball well. And most importantly, how athletic Wall looks is really, really good for us. And that's something that we were nervous about when we were talking about when we got the trade. But, John, now that you've seen Wall put in 2 games, looking really athletic, almost looking like the Achilles injury never happened, You see a significant injury like that, you think, okay, guy, he's never going to return back to his full potential. But, with modern medicine, new age, technology, we're seeing these guys and new players really coming back to, if not better than they were before. So what do you think, John Wall? You think he's got some rest? You think he's going to be all right? How do you think we're looking?
Personally, so far from what I've seen from John Wall, I mean, I've seen a tip dunk on a missed layup. That was I thought John Wall missed the layup when someone else tip dunked it, and I said, oh man, if he can still do that, and he still got the explosiveness, the athleticism that you were afraid that he was going to lose. Honestly, between KD playing his first game tonight too, KD looked great out there. John Wall looks great. DeMarcus Cousins looks great. So all 3 of the guys that are, everyone's worried about the Achilles injury really hindering their abilities have looked really solid in the time that they have played. Now, for me, and I've talked about it a lot on this podcast, was what is the offense under Steven Silas going to look like? And everyone on the broadcast team has said, oh, this looks just like Mike D'Antoni's offense, like a lot of threes, a lot of layups. And that's analytically, that's how the Rockets are going to play. But I think this offense looks completely different from what Mike D'Antoni has done the past 4 or 5 years. First off, the isolation basketball has gone down by so much, and there are multiple players touching the basketball, right? Eric Gordon is getting a chance to actually do something with the basketball besides stand still and look pretty in the corner. And that's like a gift from God to the Houston offense.
He still likes to get lost deep in the wing, though, like 30 feet out.
And there were a couple times tonight where it's like, hey man, you could take 2 steps in, it's okay. Like the floor's not lava inside the 3.
And I'm good here. I like being almost out of bounds. Let me chuck it up. I got to get a couple of these every game.
Here's another word that I want to throw out there that I know Raphael Stone, when he had his introductory press conference, is optionality, right? So it's not just this one-dimensional ISO, drive kick. We saw Boogie Cousins in the post tonight, which is something we haven't had since Donatas Moniunas. Okay. We have post scoring, which is great to see. We have midi shots. Like I appreciate the mid range shots so much. I'm a huge Carmelo Anthony fan. That's my guy. I love the mid range game. Here's another thing: if Harden buys in, which I hope to God he does, because I feel like this offense and this team can go really, really, really far with Harden. He just needs to buy in, and I'm telling you, he should, because I don't think, like, if he goes to Philly, really don't think he has a better chance than he would with the Rock. Maybe because he's in the East, but I don't know. I just want him to give this team a shot. Hey, if it doesn't work out this year, okay, we'll trade you. But I just think Harden absolutely needs to give this team a shot this year.
I think that's a great point. Just giving them a chance is honestly all you can ask for. And I think absolutely just giving them a chance, because the team looks great. The offense looks amazing. Now, the one thing that, and you can kind of point to this, is Harden's style of play for the years that he's been the best and most productive have been ISO heavy. So you're, at least for me personally, I'm curious, how does Harden affect this offense? How does his wanting to play in maybe isolation style basketball affect that? How does he fit into this new, what was the word you used? Optimization. Optionality. How does he fit into a more option open offense? Rourke, you're the biggest Harden fan of the three of us. How do you think? You think that, or what are your thoughts when Harden comes back?
Here's the thing, and I think the key is Steven Silas. I think the key is to develop a chemistry connection with Steven Silas, and I think he can do that, because Steven Silas, like from what I've seen, every interview he's given great answers, very personable guy, smiles a lot. I love that. I think him and James hopefully connect with each other, and I think just building trust. That's what Steven said, just building trust with each other. And I think Harden buys into the system. I mean, he's a very good off the ball player, honestly, and very good catch and shoot player. And Harden can do that. Just we have to see, because the Rockets, they've dug themselves into this hole where they basically have just been at James Harden. They're just kissing his feet this entire 8 years that he's been on the team. We've done everything for Harden. He's never heard no from the Rockets, and finally, I think. He's just gonna have to put that ego aside, and hopefully, that's just the key.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's honestly pretty simple. Media tries to overblow it and turn it into a crazy situation just because they got nothing better to talk about and they're trying to get their ratings up. But Harden, he's already returned to the team. He's going to be eligible to play Tuesday night. That's going to be big to see. I expect him to be back, play, and shut these rumors up, because honestly, like Eric said, he's not going to be going to a better situation. It's not realistic. The Rockets aren't going to trade him for pennies on the dollar when we're not in a position to do so. And honestly, I don't think Harden's really in that position to want to do so. He hasn't publicly demanded a trade. It's just really the media blowing up. I'm sure, okay, hey, I might just drop you some destinations here, before the season starts, whatever, if it's true, if it's not true, whatever. But the point is that the Rockets, I don't see them realistically trading Harden at all. I think there's a 0.001% chance. You're going to see it in a day or two. Harden's going to be back practicing with the team. You're going to hear some reports, and then on Tuesday, he's going to be playing with them. So I don't expect any sort of delay. Now, after this COVID restriction, protocols that he has coming, having to self-quarantine due to partying, et cetera, that we talked about. But I do think that Harden will be back with the team. Once that happens, I think you're going to see these rumors start to slowly kind of quiet down, because it's clear the Rockets, one, don't need to trade him, and two, don't want to trade him, and three, you're going to see pretty soon the Rockets are going to have a fire team as soon as Harden starts playing with the boys. And, him playing with Coach Silas, I think is going to be pretty simple. Okay, you got a guy who can easily create for other people, led the league in assists. and is going to draw 3 defenders every time he attacks. So your offense gets pretty simple. I mean, you take a guy like Luka that he just coached, right? Very similar. Luka had tons of ISO plays. He had tons of, that was their main offense was pick and roll towards the end of the games in Dallas. Like it's pretty, it's going to be very similar. And it also is kind of similar to Mike D'Antoni in terms of, Harden is going to be the one controlling possessions, especially when the game matters. John Wall sure is going to get touches, but I do also think, with D'Antoni out, you're right. More people are going to touch the ball every possession, but don't get it twisted. Harden's definitely going to be running pick and roll, distributing most of the time. We'll see if Wall. I'm really excited about Wall, especially staying healthy. I think he definitely is going to be back all-star caliber level, and we'll see if he can really, help us put us in that top contending team.
For sure. And Ayers, you brought up a good point about Harden playing more off the ball. And I think the argument against that tends to be, with Chris Paul, with Russell Westbrook, their kind of gripe was, yeah, we don't have the ball, you just kind of stand there. But that was Mike D'Antoni's offense. And I think with Silas, I think you can use Harden off the ball more, maybe on more cuts or pin downs. And, it feels like this is going to be a better team and a more well-utilized team at the end of the day under Steven Silas.
It's just so refreshing. You actually have player movement off the ball. Like it's just, oh my God, it's like I'm in heaven. It's not stagnant. The only times it's stagnant is when Chris Clemens is out there. He was minus 17 tonight, but we'll get into that later. But it's refreshing to see this new coach who doesn't give the same, I'm going to say the same fucking answers every interview, which Mike did. He just, hey, we got the shots we wanted. Like, no, you did not get the shots that you wanted. You had Harden, which he's very good at that. The step back, like pulling up from 40 feet, or like some other just really stupid Eric Gordon shot that hits the side of the backboard. Like, it's nice to have player movement. And so, I'm extremely excited this year.
But Ayers, you bring up a really good point there, and that one thing that we're seeing right now with the Rockets is depth, particularly without Harden out there. Chris Paul is not the most ideal backup point guard, nor is Jerry Grant.
No.
But there are a couple guys out there that have been pleasant surprises. Tate looks good.
What about Green? Gerald's back.
The mayor of Houston. Green, baby, let's go.
What have you guys seen in terms of the other guys? The guys that they won't make the headlines every single week, but the other guys that really help build a championship team. What do you guys think about the bench players so far?
David Nwaba, one guy that's really stood out to me. I mean, he is a just energizer bunny coming off the bench. Kind of reminds me of like another Patrick Beverly in a way, just kind of the energy that he brings. And he's another guy that just came off a Achilles injury too. So it's really good to see him. He looks spry as ever. Just bringing that defensive intensity that honestly Houston hasn't had in, like, I don't know, since Patrick Beverly or Corey Brewer, that comes off the bench, provides that spark. So he's been a pleasant surprise, and then also Jay Sean Tate, obviously.
Yeah, we don't mention Corey Brewer on this podcast. That man is forever dead to me.
Oh boy. Except for 2015 when
no, he's got, and yeah. All right, maybe some days I like him, sometimes I don't. Every time I see him in a Rockets jersey, swear, in a Minnesota Timberwolves jersey, he was like an all-star, but
he dropped 50 on the Rockets. I remember that. I was at Rourke's house when he did that. I was like, what?
Rourke, what have you thought about the bench players so far?
Nah, they're fine. You mentioned, some people probably aren't going to make the roster. Kenny Martin Jr. is going to be interesting. He probably isn't going to play any real minutes, but we'll probably keep him around for the name value. I don't know. I do think the role players.
Also 19. He's 19 years old.
I do. Yeah, he'll play a lot of G League for us for sure. I think you see these guys like Gordon and Gerald Green. Houses are going to be our starting forward, but we're going to really need other playmakers to come in the game, especially I think kind of bigger guys like forwards. And so it's going to be interesting to see, where that kind of third hit is, because obviously you're going to have Harden. John Wall attacking, creating for other people. You're going to have Boogie too. I think he's going to be getting some good looks and, definitely deserves to be getting, his own plays and, post ups and et cetera. But we're going to need some other firepower, some other playmakers to be relevant, to be competitive. So no, yeah, I like Eric Gordon, Gerald Green. Definitely love having him back on the squad. Unfortunately, I broke his foot last year, so we cut him. But he's healthy now. Picked him back up because obviously he's loves Houston and from here. So no, I like it. We'll see. Preseason, pretty quick preseason this year. The next season, regular season starts in like 8 days. About a week. So not a whole lot of time to evaluate what we got, especially when Harden's going to be just reporting back to the team. With a week to go. So I think we'll be fine though. What do you think?
I think the one guy that we haven't mentioned yet is Bruno Caboclo, and how well he's been playing. And I think he seems like a guy over the past 2 years. He seems on and off on the Rockets every 2 months he's there, and then 2 months he's gone, and then 2 months he's on another team, and now he's back on the Rockets. So I think that if the Rockets can wisen up a little bit and keep him around, I think that'd be a really great addition. Whether you're gonna play him in a small ball 5, a 4, or even a 3, I think he's a good player to hold on to. Seems like he will always forever be the 2 years away from being 2 years away guy, but
he did lead our team in scoring the first game.
Yeah, I think a team's just got to give him a chance, and I think the Rockets, which are a historically offensively minded team that doesn't really think about defense too much, I think he can surprise you on the defensive end and really be a good lengthy contributor on the offensive end as well.
That first game, he was looking like the Brazilian KD for sure.
I had to do a double take. I was like, oh, the shot looks a little. Is that KD?
I was like, dang. And then like we saw like what he does when he actually has the ball in his hand and is creates, and it's kind of tragic and a little sad.
Yeah, I got a question for you guys. Yeah. Is there anything y'all want to see? Kind of wrapping up for the rest of the preseason this last week before the regular season starts? Anything you're kind of trying to keep your eye out for? Obviously, we all want to see Harden come back, report in the next couple of days and play, on Tuesday night, hopefully. But is there anything else you're kind of looking for before, the regular season gets going this next week?
More Mason Jones. I think he led the SEC in scoring with Arkansas. I want to see him get more minutes for sure. I think he has a lot of potential. He's another creator. So hopefully we retain him, maybe send him back, to the G League or something. But I want to see him get more minutes.
I also want to see Harden, right? Obviously, I want to see how he gels and how he plays off the ball and how he, accepts this new offense. But I also really want to see how PJ Tucker folds into this offense. And I think he can be such a Swiss Army knife, great player. I want to know, is he, what's the starting lineup look like between, him, Christian Wood, and DeMarcus Cousins? Because I really want to see how that pans out, because Boogie's playing really good. Now, he is, someone who's probably not going to play every single game, and he might have to rest on back-to-backs and stuff like that. But, maybe that keeps him out of the starting lineup. But I think he will be a pleasant surprise for the team this season. But definitely want to see how PJ Tucker works into that offense.
Hey, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this snippet of our podcast, make sure you like the video and leave a comment of your thoughts on the topic we talked about. And make sure to subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. Also, if you want to watch the podcast in its entirety, you can find us on Spotify, which is linked in the description below, with our Instagram and our Twitter, which you should also be following. All you have to do is click the links below. Thank you again for watching, and we can't wait to see you next time.